What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. This is a different video than the video I was going to record. My local trails wasn't open today, so I wasn't able to do the video that I wanted to do, which is fine. It is what it is. But I'm going to be doing a 10-hour break-in review of the 2022 Can-Am Renegade 650 XMR. And I'm going to kind of talk about some stuff that I like about it, some stuff I don't like about it. And kind of tell you what I think so far, and then I'll tell you at the end of this video if I think that the thing is overpriced or what, or if it was really worth it. And now I will be doing like a year review as well, which I'll be doing of the Outlander on top of that. But I want to go ahead and get into like the good, the bad, whatever, and I'm including upgrades in this stuff. So I'd say the good, the Rhino horn's working a little better than I thought it would. I honestly thought I'd hate the Rhino horn. But with this cover right here, it makes washing the bike a lot easier, and it keeps a lot of mud and water out of the clutches and out of my air intake, stuff like that, which helps out a lot. The Aztecs, someone asked me about how I like the, if I like the Aztecs. I do. I really wish I went with a bigger tire, or bigger version of the Aztec, but I wanted to go with the 30s with the fat tread. Now we're a little closer, so this thing doesn't dig down, which is really nice. It's nice that this bike doesn't dig down. I've had it get stuck, I think like once or twice, but honestly, it's doing pretty good, and I'm not really complaining. The clutch setup is holding up well. I don't know if I did a full update on that, but if you haven't seen my Instagram, my TikTok, I do have an STM secondary in here. And it has the blue spring in it with the 36 engine braking helix. Works well. I might switch that blue spring out for a gold, because I think that's the reason why this thing is still kind of sluggish the way it drives around. Because this thing in sport mode feels like my Outlander in normal mode, which isn't terrible, but the RGWC crossflow duals are working really well. Haven't really had any problems with them. They work the way it's supposed to. O2 hasn't given me any issues. The El Command 8 tuner underneath the, I don't know if I can pull this all off, but I don't know if you guys can see that underneath there or not. No, you can't see it, but it's working well. I had to readjust it a couple times. I have not had the seat come off like I have in the Outlander, so that's good. Everything else works the way it's supposed to. Let me go ahead and do kind of proof as well that it's at 10 hours. Yes, you see 10.6. Oh, one other upgrade I did as well is the Neutrino rear taillights. So, and they look freaking phenomenal. They look amazing, and I love them. So, you have all that. Also, the weight of the bike is amazing. Whenever it gets stuck, I can easily push it to one side because it's well over 100 pounds lighter than the 850 as the way that it sits, which is awesome. Other than that, hasn't been too bad. Now let's go ahead and get into the negatives, because much like I posted about, there are some things going on with this bike that's weird. So the rim is still leaking over here, which is my fault from the Outlander, because these are the Outlander rims. So I gotta fix that, but it is what it is. So there's that. I do have one weird thing that's going on that none of my other Can-Ams or Hondas have ever had, is the brakes. They feel okay right now, but when you start driving around, you just pull a brake, it just, it just like feels like it has no brakes up front. And I don't know why. It has brake fluid, but I'm sure there's something really small that I'm missing somewhere, and I'm just stupid. I don't know. So there's that. The rad relocate makes a ton of noise. It's not super sturdy. It rattles around like a ton, but that's the wild board kit for you. It's the cheapest kit on the market, pretty much, and it looks really nice. Fits the bike perfectly, but it does rattle quite a lot, and I do need to redo some of these hose setups. I need to get like a 45-degree angle for this, because this is just on a straight angle. It's just tightened down super tight. It did leak a little bit when we first started riding around when I first put this on, but we tightened it and it hasn't been leaking since, but I need to get a 45 on there. And then the biggest one is down here, the clutches. So I did have the secondary explode on this, and I don't understand why, because I torqued it down the way I was supposed to. I didn't reuse the secondary stud, which, oh, by the way, this had the stud in it instead of the actual bolt, which was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. That was a nightmare to get out. It was awful. So, but yeah, I replaced the stud, and it just didn't hold. I don't know. Torqued it 70 foot-pounds, and it exploded. And I put it back on there, put Loctite, torqued it 70 foot-pounds, exploded again. So I ended up putting the STM secondary in there, and obviously haven't had any problems since. Other than that, the bike seems to be doing pretty good so far. I don't know how it's going to do in a year's time. We'll just have to do an update around a year later, see what's up. But is this bike overpriced? Absolutely. Yeah, it is. This bike, now I do want to explain something real quick when it comes to being overpriced. Is this bike right here, the thing is about it is it, how do I explain this? If you compare it against the 850, this is absolutely overpriced. Absolutely. It's not better than the 850. It's not. You know, it is in terms of weight, but other than that, it's just not that great. Now, with that being said, if you take it against the 650 XMR, here's the thing about that. With the original wheels, they're actually bead locks, which is not these, but the Mega Mayhem wheels, which I still have, by the way. And I will be doing a tire review of all my tires. I'll be doing that after this video, actually, or at least recording it, getting it out of the way. But the thing is that the bead locks are actually very expensive when compared to the regular wheels, and bead locks are better than the standard wheels because you don't have to worry about breaking a bead or anything like that. Despite the fact that these wheels right here are arguably the lightest wheels you can find. So you have that, and then you do have the shock package. Now, I've talked about this like at least like 7 or 8 times, but the original Can-Am OEM shocks just suck. They're terrible. The Fox podiums are so much better. They hold up better, they ride better, they don't break nearly as easily. They're just better in every single way. So, I don't know. When you add the price into the shocks and the wheels, this thing pretty much does equal the price of the Outlander, but, you know, I'd say that these two are dead even on that front. Both the 650s are pretty much even in price. But as for the 850, yeah, it's just better than both of them. So it really doesn't matter. It's also better than the 1000 XMR because, you know, it's got the long wheelbase on it. Oh, speaking of negatives, by the way, this was not easy to upgrade at all. I thought this was going to be easy. No, it's not. Pulling that rat out was a pain in the ass. Slightly easier than the Outlander, but still pain in the ass. The exhaust was a pain in the ass. Wasn't really that fun. The mounting bolts, the way I have it mounted up, is not the best in the world. It does work, don't get me wrong, and it does not rattle with how I have it set up. But I had to take the entire rear bumper off, which, you know, it wasn't that bad, but it's kind of a little bit sucky. The rear taillights was probably the easiest thing to do. You could do this with almost, if you know how to do this right, you can actually do this with 0 tools, pretty much. You just have to unplug, twist the light out, and then just stuck those in, and that's it. You do need to drill a hole for these, though, for the cord to go through, but you won't see it on the other side, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that kind of stuff was not fun. The way the winch is mounted up is not great. It's only being held on by 2 bolts because the other 2 bottom bolts broke. Because come to find out that right down here, I had to drill 2 new holes for the bolts because the wildboard kit does not have any bowl holes. And I didn't see that when I went to go put it on. I wish I did, but I didn't, so I had to drill my own holes. And the skid plate didn't have any holes either. So, but you can easily drill through the skid plate, whereas the wildboard kit's, you know, made of pretty much pure steel. So it's like pretty hard to get through that. So pretty much have all those things. You know, there's not much else really left to say about the Renegade. Oh, I do have another negative, but this one's just kind of like a niche one. This Renegade does not keep you clean at all. Like, look how far the tire sticks out, and I'm holding this as straight as possible, right? I did go with the reason I went with these wheels is because I wanted the basically stock offset. I didn't want any more than that. Well, the tire's not really straight. There we go. With tire straight, you can see that it just, yeah, it sticks out quite a bit. The new tires are going to do the same thing once I get a hold of them, which is going to be a hot minute. I need to get a trailer hitch as well, because or the 2-inch hitch receiver, so I can get on the tiger tail, stuff like that, whatever. But yeah, this thing does not keep you clean at all. And what usually happens is you run into mud holes, and the reason I don't full send with this all the time is literally because mud will kick up from right here, and this is mostly the Aztec's fault because of just how the lugs and stuff are scooped and how flexy they are. Like yeah, you can see this is super flexy, so they clean out really, really well. But unfortunately, that also means that it grabs mud and it flings it straight up, and the tires actually stick out way past the fenders. Like they stick out almost as much as the exhaust do, which is crazy. But yeah, the water literally comes up like this and goes over right onto you, and it goes like right inside your waders if you're wearing them, which is a real shame. So yeah, trying to stay clean while riding this is impossible. You know, but that's to be expected with a Renegade. The only thing that I hate about it is, you know, when I want to get in my truck drive home, you know, like, I always have to have a towel stuff with me, whereas on the Outlander, I just never had to do that. I could just wear the waders, and then I would just take the waders off, be completely clean. Don't have to worry about washing my clothes out, stuff like that, which you pretty much have to do almost every single time you ride this Renegade. So, it is what it is, whatever. I don't hate the power. I think the power is fine. I do need to fix the secondary a little bit, and then possibly loosen up the weights in the primary, because I got the 1017 spring in there. Haven't had any issues with it. Other than that, it's doing pretty good. I don't really have any other issues with it. Like I said, reliability wise is not great in terms of the clutch. I can't believe the clutch just happened to do that. I don't know. Like, I literally rebuilt the entire secondary and it just exploded again. So real shame that had to happen. I don't know what to say about that. Along with the brakes, I don't know what to say about that either. My Outlander never had these problems at all. Well, it did have the secondary blow up on it, but that was completely my fault. We just didn't have the bolt torqued down all the way, so that was irrelevant. But this one was actually torqued at 70 foot-pounds both times, and it just blew up both times. So explain that one to me. And the second one was with Loctite too. So, you know, I don't know. I've been doing secondaries for years, and this is the first one I've ever had that just blew up, even though you do everything to spec, by the book, you know, by the manual, and it just doesn't work. So I don't know. But overall, not a bad bike so far. Would I recommend this bike to anybody? The answer is not really. Only because of the existence of the Outlander 850. If that thing didn't exist, this bike wouldn't be so bad. But it's just hard to argue with the 850. It literally has everything plus more, whereas this bike just doesn't have any of that. It has a lot less. The only thing it has, like I said, is this rhino horn, which works great when you get this cover. If you don't have this cover, this rhino horn is not that good. And a lot of people use their foam cannons, and they'll go, or, you know, hoses, whatever, go over this, and then water just goes literally right into your air intake and right into the belts. A lot of people just don't think about that until, you know, their secondaries end up blowing up and their clutches have issues and they're wondering what happened. And that's how. I actually had a guy who had a Renegade. It was a 570 Renegade, and he was riding it and got into a mud hole, and the mud was like, he was full sending it all the way, and the mud was coming up and going right in here because he was at an angle, and he swamped his bike that way, which is nuts. I've never seen that happen before. So crazy that you can actually swamp your bike while not going deep at all. But, you know, sorry that there's a lot of negative stuff. Just trying to be as honest as I can. What I don't like is when a lot of people will basically sit there and tell lies just to catch the eye of the viewer. I don't like that stuff at all. I like being completely 100% honest with you guys, because I don't want you guys to buy cheap crap. I don't want you guys to buy junk. I don't want you guys to buy bad products. I want you guys to buy stuff that, you know, I know is going to work for you guys, be reliable for you guys. And, you know, a lot of people see these things, these are a lot of money, and that's a big mistake. You know, it can very easily be that. I've been there, and I don't want to see other people do that. So that's why I do these videos. That's why I be as honest as possible. You know, I didn't used to be that way, but I am now. So yeah, what I feel about this bike is it's a good bike, but for the price, it's just not there. You know, maybe we'll see in a year if it becomes reliable. Maybe we'll see, but that'll take time. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I know this kind of came out of nowhere, but I wanted to get this video done out of the way because it was been raining a lot. Hadn't had the chance to get videos, and then the trails being closed makes it really hard as well. So yeah, I'm sorry about this being long as well. I was trying to go as fast as possible going through everything, but obviously it's gonna take me a little longer than that. So yeah, if you liked the video, make sure you like it, subscribe, all the other stuff. Kind of looking forward to possibly getting to 10,000 subscribers. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.